Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, dear brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, once again, we are here to discuss about Sri Lanka. Today, we have very distinguished guests, two of them. And this discussion going to be very, very important for the time. And one after one, inshallah, I will introduce my guest. And first of all, Brother Latheef Farook. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I don't need the introduction, and people, they don't need the introduction about you. And straight away, I would like to ask you what is happening in Sri Lanka at the moment. And briefly, then I will invite the next guest, inshallah.
It's a very precarious situation here, where country is passing through the worst ever political, economic, and law and order crisis in Sri Lanka. So nobody could predict what's going to happen tomorrow here. That is state of affairs. Economically, people are virtually country has collapsed. You see, people are suffering a great deal, and when they get up in the morning, they can't give a cup of tea to the family, children, and they can't take the children to school. So producers can't send their goods to the city. City people can't buy anything. So the country is in an utter chaos, mess. Yeah.
Okay, Jazakumullah khair. Inshallah, further we will discuss further, inshallah. And I will hit the next guest, Dr. Asid Kalik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity to talk in this big audience, the crisis situation in Sri Lanka.
Jazakumullah khairan. Inshallah, for the audience, I need some introduction, little brief introduction about you.
I'm originally from central part of Sri Lanka. Graduated in Colombo University as a medical grads in 1990. Worked in Colombo on the neurosurgical unit for 10 years, but due to prevailing situation in Sri Lanka at that time, as you know, 30 years of war, and we were a direct victim of it, not only as a minority, but also as a doctor. So we are on the forefront, receiving all these victims and treating them. And there was a point where nobody can work in Sri Lanka at that time. So I had to move to United States of America. I finished my residency. I'm working as a medical doctor, inpatient, outpatient. I'm an internist. And also, I'm a specialist in addiction medicine, where you know that addiction is a big part all over the world, especially in Sri Lanka. I'm a part of the team here. Alhamdulillah, everything working out good, but really worrying factor is Sri Lanka. What's going on? We used to go to Sri Lanka every two times a year. For the last 3 years, didn't go at all because of the prevailing situation.
Yes,
and it's sad to see that.
Yeah, Jazakumullah khair. And for everyone knows you as a doctor, but many of us, we know you are socially very, very active, alhamdulillah. And today we have one person from Sri Lanka and also one from abroad. So we're going to combine with both sides. So first of all, Latheef Farook, Jazakumullah khairan. This is at 10 o'clock. Normally you are sleeping, but the crisis is we can't sleep for so many months and days. And at the moment today, I saw in the media 2 people arrested. Those people raised the voice against the corrupted regime, and also they were there in the Gota village for more than 109 days. And also there are more than 6 people and given the travel ban. And even they said today, within I think couple of hours, more than 5 people murdered. So these things happening today. So I want to ask you, and regarding this arrest, what is the message government want to give to the people?
Actually, that we can't say there's a proper government in Sri Lanka. Things are in utter mess. Everything is in chaos. And the main thing what is need of the hour is restoration of the law and order. So that is the main thing of the. But whatever you happened, that we should know that in Sri Lanka, what has happened during the past couple of months is such a remarkable development. For example, in many other countries, political changes came with bloodbath. Here, the peaceful protesters, they removed the prime minister first, and then got the president chased out, and then they want to continue with the protesters sort of achieve the aspirations here. That is to remove this corrupt system. This is the corrupt system. Parliament system is extremely corrupt now, top to bottom. So see, it is this corruption, mismanagement, and brought about the present situation. We should understand this is not a tsunami like natural disaster. No, this is a man-made disaster by the politicians. And down the line, their supporters. Corruption means top to bottom the corruption. So this has been going on for some time. But you see, for example, the petrol problem, or even other shortage of food stuff and all. So the officers concerned, the ministers concerned, politicians concerned, they knew it's coming, but they didn't do anything. Even the main started with the rice problem, fertilizer problem. So they didn't do anything. That's how the main problem is here. The law and order I can't say it is in the proper order here.
No, the question for I am asking, the arrest is happening now, especially after.
Now you see now what has happened. On the 9th of that May, Prime Minister was removed. On the very same day that that violence, thugs were infiltrated into the peaceful demonstrations, and they were attacked. Since an element of violence is introduced into the Aragale, what you call the peaceful demo, Aragale. So since then things have changed. Yes, you see them. Some say the government supporters. Of course, on the 9th of May, what are support the government supporters. Then after that also they continued, but infiltrators are there. Infiltrators there. So see, now the government, the president was chased away, and new president has come. Now that the Aragalia, they complained because the new president was not an elected man by the people. He was nominated. He was nominated. He was the president of United National Party. United National Party under his leadership didn't win one seat, and he himself got 30,000 votes. So now you see that this man without a seat in the parliament was appointed as a national in the national list. First he was taken in. Then he was made acting prime minister. Then the 40 people, the Mahinda Rajapaksa supporters, in the parliament, now they elected him as a president. President, it looks like generally that now we want to take revenge on these people. They want to, he says, violence is there, terrorism is there, I want to crush that. But you see that the demonstrators, protesters, Aragale people, up to 9th, there was no violence. Violence came after the people went from Prime Minister's temple trees and attacked the so after the concept, the whole the perspective changed here. So it will continue like this. Now they managed to continue peacefully, and then in between there were violence also, and then they got rid of almost got rid of the president. See, in 6.9 million votes, he got the most popular man, that he came with the extreme racist idea. Instead of taking oaths in the parliament, he took oaths in the Ruwanvelli Sahaya, Buddhist, the place where LR and Duttikam both go. So he came, but for him to be thrown out within 2 months, 2 years, 2.5 years, it's not joke here. So see that. Now this man is a proxy president. He is a proxy president for Rajapaksa family, Rajapaksa government. Government means family government. Now the situation you see, then they are using this man to be tough on the people. That is the situation. The general feeling is that he has been used by the Rajapaksa family to take revenge on the people. But the one thing that you should know is the main problem of the people is not even taken into consideration. Petrol, food, other things here. Okay, go ahead.
We will talk inshallah further. And Dr. Kalik, what is happening today? I think a British ambassador met Ranil Wickremesinghe. And international community is very closely watching what is happening in Sri Lanka. Normally, we don't see from the West and the Sri Lankan situation picked by the media. But these days, we saw all the media from BBC to CNN. Everybody picked this one. My question for you is: the international community, are they ready to help Sri Lanka even after this Ranil Wickremesinghe's election? In the mid of this whole arrest?
Well, that's a very good question. So, unfortunately, Sri Lankan politician does not understand the international community knows exactly what's going on in Sri Lanka. For an example, I'm living in the middle of United States, Midwest. People think, oh, that is kind of jungle. Let me tell you the true story. Every single patient of mine knows what exactly going on in Sri Lanka. In fact, just before I joined the meeting, I happened to see a patient, and he says, Kalik, nothing is changing. The same old guys are coming into forefront. So this is a good example. The international community knows this is the people, that Pohotua people, 150 plus people, shuffling the card and taking one at a time and throwing on the table, okay, this is my prime minister, this is my president, this is my economic minister, this is my foreign minister. They think they can keep on playing this. Unless they come with a national government where the all other small parties represent, and possibly maybe one or two members from the Pohotua step in and make a national unity government only for 3 or 4 months and declare an election. That's the only way out. But it should be only limited. People say, okay, we can't have an election, we don't have money. Guess what? Recently, Afghanistan had an election. You know what? Who sponsored it? UN. Many times, Bangladesh elections are sponsored by UN. The people say, okay, we don't have money in Sri Lanka. How many billion dollars? 1.2 billion Sri Lankan rupees we need it. Don't you think the international community will not come out with the money if they really want it? And also, there are government servants who's ready to work without a pay if there's an election. So, we need to understand the government is for the people, not for the government. They need to understand you cannot keep on playing this card until people are starving. People are dying on the petrol queues. People are staying on the queue for basic stuff like electricity and short supply. They need to understand there is a way out. If they come with a unity national government, international community will pour the money. And not only that, look at that. If you are not satisfying the expatriate, there are about 3.5 million Sri Lankan living abroad, working and established. Think about everybody send $100. Think about everybody send $1,000. Every month Sri Lanka can have $1 to $2 billion. The petroleum crisis will be solved overnight. But to satisfy the international community, they have to come with a unity government, not the same people from the Pohotua again and again.
Yeah, this is a very good point. Thank you very much indeed. And once again, I want to bring Latheef Farook here. And everybody know Gotabaya Rajapaksa is a very tough man. Yes. Even though people came out and chased him out, he is not in the power. And my question for you, can the government of Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Pohotua control the protesters who have complete rights to protest? This is my question for you. Already, people
complete right to protest to ensure their rights is their rights. Okay, but the thing is, you see that now there's people. Now there's the clear polarization. The entire country is on one side. Tamils, Sinhalese, Muslims, those who are divided on many issues are united together. Today, Sumantharan in the evening said, the only way is to go for election. We don't want a corrupt set of people to come there. What is the demand of the protesters? Remove the system, remove the corrupt people. Now, last week, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, General Fonseca, a member of parliament, a man who defeated the LTT, he said about 60% of the MPs are drug addicts. And daytime they are busy taking drugs, evening they are busy with women. So these are the legislators. So this is what the people want to change the system. So you completely try to crush the voice. That won't work. That is my opinion. So you see, this is a general opinion of everybody. So this, actually he has messed up. The one sense attacking, sending the people, armed forces, army and the police to attack them, he has messed up everything. And also he had won the wrath of the people from European Union, United Nations, other world institutions. They have been lost the respect here. But General Fonseca the other day, even others said in the parliament that okay, he was not elected president, but he was chosen by later chosen by the vote of people, and they agreed, and they were willing to work with him, give him a chance, so that all together. But now this arrogant attitude, and this today also that people are arresting, the toughness. He has lost the confidence of the people, lost the confidence of most of the MPs, and lost the confidence of the world. If the European Union says we will cancel the G plus, you see, then what happened? And condemnation coming from other parts of the world. Then beginning during the first week is a very sad story here. The country can't afford that. Country is passing through the worst ever political and economic crisis. That is the need of the hour is that. Second, we can have election. But right now, political stability is needed to sort out the economic problem. Political stability only can come, like many other people say, and Dr. Kalik also said, through election. We can have an election. So many JVP wants election, even others wants election. So now it looks like you can't simply say, okay, Aragala people, they can rise up and chase out the people, but then what next? There should be system, no? So the system should be created by an election. So it looks like we are heading towards a bit of a difficult time. The difficulty is the violence will lead to violence. When the government introduces this suppression, violence will come, because we see the response to this. So what the government done during the past few days, people respond. So that's a good barometer to understand. You keep on suppressing them, what you will get from the country. Nationwide, when the people rise up, you can't go against them. So you see, that is the situation. But with that, I would say election seems to be, once this chaotic situation is cleared, is the only alternative.
And for the international audience, I would to mention, because we are using the word Aragalaya so many times. Aragalaya is normally protesters, yeah. And from Latheef, Farook, I will pick one of the things that you said. All the people are united and they want the country come back to the normal. And Dr. Kalik, in the past, unfortunately, those people who are living in abroad and also in Sri Lanka, especially the diaspora community, when the Tamils, they were having the war and the marginalized by the consecutive government, only the Tamils, they fought for their rights. And after post-war, and that table turned to Muslim. And from 2009 onwards, Muslims suffered a lot. And the last we can see the pandemic time, the forced cremation. Everyone knows, worldwide known. My question is, as a Sri Lankan, not only like a Muslim, Buddhist, or the Hindus, we divided in the past to get our country back. But now, and in Sri Lanka, people saying we were united. We are feeling the pain of the Tamils and also Muslim. And they were the people, the rulers, they divided us and we fought against each other. Now we are united. My question for you as a diaspora person and the Muslims, Sinhalese and the Tamils of Sri Lanka, can they work as a Sri Lankan from abroad? Are they working?
Well, if you see, Europe is already taking place, and if you see in across United States, you don't see the differences. People come all wakes of people, professionals to the all the way down to people who are on the low level of income earners. They're coming. Ladies, if you could see the people identify with a hijab, you know that. And also the Muslims sometimes sometimes they put the cap. So if you see across United States, when you go for this demonstration, they are together hand to hand. What you see in Uprising and Goldface, the same replica is taking place across United States, across Europe. I think people do understand, and dividing by the religious base or language base is just to divide and rule. And I think that's what brought this country into the knees. And everybody understand this is not the way out. Unless we get together, forget about you are a Muslim or you're a Hindu, you're a Christian, or you are Tamil speaking or Sinhalese speaking. People know when you become a Sri Lankan under one banner and work together, and that's the future for Sri Lanka.
Okay.
You see that, but unfortunately, that had been the slogan by every party who come to power. They use this racial hatred, then instigate violence against one ethnic group to the other, and try to win the ballots. And it had been the case. But guess what? Last couple of days, it is coming up again. That was my real fear, because when I looked at the news last couple of days, you know that the guy who was the MBA student had tried to leave the country and he was snatched. And they put, some of the media tried to show, oh, he's a Muslim. Now, today morning, I saw another guy, oh, that's a guy, the Islamic Maulavi. So that they're trying to show this uprising purely because of the Muslims. And I see the international, the community should understand this is not by the Muslim, this is not by the Sinhalese, this is not by the Christian, this is not by the Hindus. This is the united Sri Lankan people uprising against this corruption and the poverty, and try to get rid of this and try to start a fresh start. But the government try to continue to use their tactics to show this is still instigated by the small minority of people. People should be very well aware of that. People need to keep their eye open, not to fall into this crap politics. Again, showing this is Muslim politics or Hindus or Christians. Unless we stay united, forget about the past and look for the future, united Sri Lankan, we can get out this mess very quick. Only way, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, I know that he comes from the elite family and he has nothing to lose. All what he has to do is to close your eyes, think about your God you pray, and think about what legacy I'm going to leave up to the people. Are you going to be show yourself as a tyrant, last president of Sri Lanka, not elected? Or you wanted to be a real patriotic Sri Lanka? Maybe you have the power. Get rid of whoever the prime minister. Put a neutral guy as a prime minister. Make a neutral cabinet. And he can still do, and he can still leave the legacy. But let them wait and see whether he has a spine to do these things.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. As we can see, one of the audience, he mentioned Sri Lankan government failed to promote the transitional justice. That's a very valid point. And also another person me mentioned no election commissioner told already reserved money, but already you answered. It is a very easy. UN can solve that one. And another one, I think Aragaleta Jayaveva, and I think young, or I think young. Okay. One of the things I want to ask you, Latheef Farook, Sri Lanka has, I can say what is called the mm, now a state of emergency. And
Yes.
before, yeah, they brought a state of emergency. And also they have two-third power majority in the parliament. And also executive presidency. And also there is another thing, the PTA, like the Terrorism Act, yeah, Prevent Terrorism Act. These all things giving a message. Still, we can't solve our problem. And why? The question is for me: why state of emergency again brought by the government at the moment?
The state of emergency was, really unwanted. You see that they want to crush this, the peaceful protest. But peaceful protest, just they are not protesting just for the sake of protesting. There's a message from the peaceful protesters. What is the message? Get rid of the cleanup, get rid of the corruption. Now I told you about 60 people, general council, 60 members, MPs, or 60% MPs are drug addicts. Can they run the country? They can't. So they want to. They now what the protesters say. These protesters, they are not ordinary street sweepers. Right? They are doctors, lawyers, university professors, lecturers, all category of people, educated people. They all begin to realize, and they have realized, not realized, okay, not yet, realized already that they were taken for a ride by the politicians by selling this Buddhist card, selling this anti-Tamil card, selling the anti-Muslim card. Now they come to know that our country is suffering. One of the, we can call it a paradise on earth. You see, is suffering only because of the racist politics which divided the communities, destroy the country. 30-year war is what? 30-year war is because of Javadanas, the racist politics. Now, what is happening now? What's happening? This government is over, the racist government here. Extremely anti-Muslim government here. Yeah. What ever since they came, imagine that Islam is such a powerful religion here. Allah's and getting a man, a thug, virtually a thug, a Buddhist monk, to study the Sharia law. Isn't it a disgrace? It reflects on the mentality of the rulers. For them to appoint a man whose hands are soaked in Muslim blood to study Sharia law, study about various things. What does it mean? Insulting the Muslims. But unfortunately, we don't have the Muslims who can talk about this here. We have ulamas. They are only, I don't know, they are probably praying also. You see, we must point out this. We must point out. This is Muslims are not jokers here. We have a long history. We have very, very, very strong history here. We were hand in hand with singular rulers. They should know that here. They can talk big now. But we were there. Why the Muslims are all chased out from the coastal areas? Because our support to the Sinhalese king. Our Muslims should wake up and tell the truth to the Sinhalese people. Brother, I tell you, even repeatedly I say that the biggest problem biggest mistake Muslim made, they failed to let the Sinhalese know about Islam and the Muslim way of life. This is the biggest mistake. Even today, they are not integrating properly, I tell you. In the Aragale, in that gold face, what is the percentage of Muslims?
Yeah,
Where are the Muslims?
we
The Aragale is speaking about one country, one law, one country, one community. We are all, they openly say there is no singular Tamil Muslim, difference now. Now we are all one community. What more message, better message you need than this?
Okay,
What more
one,
better message than this? So
yeah.
every Muslim
Yeah,
should
I'll read
join.
this message. This message for you, and
Yeah.
to suspend the human rights of people people thought state of emergency. That means I'm thinking, and when they are bringing the state of emergency, people thinking, okay, we can't protest. And what is the message for you from
No,
you?
for it's question for me.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, when there's emergency, police is given more power. They can arrest somebody without any question. Army is given more power. So that means that is in one way crushing the peaceful demonstration. When the peaceful means of expression is crushed, what happens next? Violence.
Okay.
So
And,
we don't need this now.
yeah,
What you want,
yeah,
country needs an immediate solution now to
yeah.
the major
Doctor want
problems.
to add something? Yes, you can come.
Uh, Muslim participation on the uprising. I will disagree with Brother Farook.
Okay.
The reason is we, I think, did more than our share, to be honest with you. And it's a July 9th uprising in Colombo. I would say at least of the participants, more than 20% of them are Muslims. I can guarantee that, because Muslim in majority in Colombo areas, they were closer to the Arangale area, uprising via the coastal belt. They went in numbers, very big numbers. They played their role because not only they are Muslim, but they are patriotic. We need to remember they are patriotic. Not only this government did harm to Muslim, but they went because everybody suffering, and only way out is to replace this corrupt regime. Not because they are racist, because the people went in numbers, because these people need to go because they are corrupt. Number two, state of emergency and cracking down the people. I don't think it will go good with Sri Lankan government. Number one, the reason I'll tell you. If you see Sri Lanka right now relying on foreign currency, at least 27% of the export goes to United States. Remember the numbers. And more than 25% of the goods exported to European Union. Combine both USA and European Union, Sri Lankan export goes more than 50%. If the country going to continue to abuse the human rights and put the state of emergency, they can easily put a cap on Sri Lankan export. And you could see the consequences of Sri Lanka, number one. Number two, I don't think you could contain the Sri Lankan anymore by these emergency laws. Think about July the 9th. There was a police emergency order. Did anybody care about that? No. People went in thousands and hundreds of thousands. They went ahead. They don't care about it because you know what? Because this is a one-time opportunity for Sri Lankan to finish off this uprising and finish
Doctor,
off. Yeah.
I'm coming here. What they are doing, the government, present government, what they are doing, they are arresting the leaders of the protesters and also some of the supporting group. They are, I think, one of the Black Cap movement. They withdraw from it, and this is giving the sign for the people as Argalia is gone. Now we are here with the tough and iron fist, and this is the message I am seeing from abroad. They want to give. And what do you see this one? How do you see this?
You know, the government can contain the heads of the people. Think about it. These leaders are not appointed by anybody. They are self-appointed. You know, you go to the war, the commander falls, next in command will take over. And next. It's only in Sri Lanka that all the politicians stick to the power thinking he is the only man can take the country out of Sri Lanka. I mean, crisis. For an example, Ranil Wickremesinghe, everybody think he is the man. But overseas people does not believe that. The leaders are made, they are self-made. Think about, you could contain one guy, you could contain 10 people, you could contain 100 people, but you cannot contain 22 million people. The leaders will come out of from that. From nowhere, they will come. I don't think this the uprising is over. I think the more and more pressure government put onto the public, they will come in vengeance. And I think government is misleading the people. Government is misleading international community, and that is very bad for Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, I feel sorry for Sri Lankans because this corrupt regime try to hold everything to safeguard their interests, not thinking about the poor Sri Lankan people who is trying to survive day by day. I think whoever in power, and they need to understand, you believe in God, you preach in God. Are you practicing the karma? You preach karma, whatever you do, it's going to boomerang on you. Not only your kids, your wife, your children, your generation to come. The karma will hurt you. Remember that. If you are God-fearing people, think about the future generation. And this is a time. It's still not over. It is not too late for the corrupt government to fix the problem.
Okay, I want to come, Latheef, Farook. A couple of questions for both of you before we end the show. We are thinking to close 45 minutes to keep the audience very happy, because sometimes we are going 1 hour, and also doctor came mid of his work. And the question for you, Latheef, Farook, what is happening at the moment? In the history, 6th time Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, we know he is not he doesn't have any capacity to do anything, and the history is one side. And also everybody, even the ruling party, they were campaigning against him very harshly. Yes, and everybody knows, the world knows, he is like inactive. He doesn't have the capacity. I want you to give did the parliament replace better than the Gotabaya Rajapaksa, or the worst? Better person or the worst person?
You mean Ranil Wickremesinghe?
Ranil Wickremesinghe.
You see, right
If
now
it
the
is
country.
better, how? If it is no, and how?
No, right now the country and the Aragale people or anybody, they don't want Ranil Wickremesinghe. What they want to change the system. This system of ruled by aristocrats, trained and placed in power like the British colonial power, like Java, Senanayakas, and other people, the aristocrats. They use the common man's language, and they cheated the common. Now the people are aware. They were taken for a ride by all the politicians, UNP, SLFP, all these people. Now they want a system, change system. What system? Where Sinhalese, Tamils, Muslims, Burghers, Malays, all are there as equal citizens, which was deprived to the minorities since new constitution came in 1970 under Mr. Bandaranaike. Since then, it's a case of legally depriving the Tamils of everything and anything and everything. But now the new message is, we are together, we'll run the country together. Now they want to replace the system. In this system, whether Ranil remains so, Rajapaksas, they are all finished now, out. Now what the people think, the Ranil is nothing but a proxy of Rajapaksa. They don't want a proxy.
Yeah, I understand.
So they don't want Rajapaksa. They don't want Rajapaksa's proxy, and also gullible MPs.
Yeah,
they want some solid MPs. Also, they have find the parliamentary system as a whole has failed the country. Now we have see by the Dr. Sheikh, when we got independence in 1948, Sri Lanka was a shining example for political stability, economic stability, communal harmony, peace and development, intellectual, everything for the entire third world. Today we are in debt $51 billion. After $51 billion, $30 billion sent out. Who sent out? So this corruption, the people want to be eliminated. How can they eliminate the corruption? Those who are perpetrating. You know, they are not only accusing the politicians.
Yeah, as a
Down the
senior,
line, they are accusing top officials also. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, as a senior journalist, I want to ask this question to you. After Ranil Wickremesinghe appointed as the eighth president of Sri Lanka, some of the medias, especially Ada Dharana and Hiru, plus some of the Tamil media also promoting and Ranil Wickremesinghe. Even some small YouTubers, and they were talking, and we will give the chance for him. You know, my question for you, is he able to do something? This
You
is the
see,
question.
Adhidharana and all the people are racist papers. Adhidharana, all these people, you know, they were in the forefront in carrying out implementing the evil anti-Muslim campaign of this very same Gota, the Rajapaksa family. Now, Galkanda Hamuduru, a respectable Buddhist monk, what he said, during the election, any time when a Buddhist monk preaches to the people, they should allocate 10 to 15 minutes to demonize Muslims. Muslims are bad, don't go to their shops, they are this, they are that, demonizing. So they did 10 to 15 minutes compulsory demonization. Who did that? With the very same Rajapaksa family and the Porto government. Now that is exposed now. He himself says the Buddhist monk. So now see that is gone now. That's all. Other than don't take it seriously. You know, moreover, the Rajapaksa is gone. Rajapaksa's elements are there everywhere. The media which carried out the campaign for Rajapaksa is still there. Now they are carrying out the campaign in favor of Ranil, that on behalf of Rajapaksa. This is clear. But these people are not worried about these things here. One fellow who was removed out of the airplane yesterday, day before night. And why was he removed out? Why was he removed out? Danish Ali. Why? Because he went to Rupavahini and protested and saying that you were supporting the government, you were against the government. So that's a complaint made. In Sri Lanka, media is actually, I'll tell you, now I'm a media, I'll take 2-3 minutes to tell you, media is there's no media here. They're all racist. They're on the payroll, I would say. Now, for example, how many articles you would see in any paper on Palestine, on the Israeli and the atrocities, on Indian atrocities? You see, India, working girls are taken and, you know, raped, gang raped and, you know, chopped 50 times, 51 times. And houses are demolished in the way Israel demolished it. Killing people here. Attacking me. Muslims are living in 300 million, 250 million Muslims are living in fear, especially in the north. How many articles? One article, can you blame Sheikh Ismail? One article, any of the paper, I give the article, they won't use it.
Okay, give the message.
It looks to me like, what I want to tell you, it looks to me like Indian embassy is controlling the media. This is my feeling here.
No, what is the
journalists here? They are in the payroll of so many politicians here. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Sorry. What is the message?
I'm very forthright in giving my opinion because I live here. I can see what's happening here.
No, I want to, regarding Sri Lankan issue, what is the message you need to give to the media people? There are people, even there is a media forum for Sri Lankan Muslim media forum. And I don't see anybody
stand don't waste time on talking. I tell you, recently, we must appreciate the media like Daily Mirror, Island. They are giving adequate publicity to the other side views. That means not the pro-government views, but moderate views. Even they are giving the viewpoints of the protesters also. People also, columnists are also given the opportunity. Financial Times, for example, they are carrying a lot of good articles. Even this Sunday Times, Daily Mirror, Financial Times. I don't know much about the Sinhala papers. Tamil papers also carry. So right now, when it comes to the Aragale question of the government inactiveness, they are giving quite a good publicity. They're quite partial. But I'm talking about the local papers, international coverage. Absolutely garbage.
Yeah, Dr. Kalik, there is a question from the audience I want you to address. We see the oppositions are divided in Sri Lanka. Who can lead the country as a united Lanka? Is a 1 million or trillion pound worth question, this one?
It's a good question. Before I touch base with that, I just wanted to answer few things that your question you asked, Brother Farouk. Why not give a chance to Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is a more experienced politician? Let me, I think the people who talk in favor of Ranil Wickremesinghe may not be knowing the global politics, a global economy. Why Sri Lanka came to this point? Because of the collapse of the financial system and bankrupt the country and no foreign reserve. So they think Ranil Wickremesinghe, 5-time prime minister, he wear like a European or and he dressed like a foreigner. He talk good English, so then he can go and bring the money. If you are thinking like that, I think we have to go back and start reading about the international politics and the economy. It does not work. People do not work with you the way you talk or the way you dress. It's based on an intellectual capacity. Everybody knows what Ranil Wickremesinghe did 5 times. Okay. This time, people think about, for an example, 2008, Sri Lanka, United States went through the lean period. During the Bush period, we were on a recession. You know what? Who came to rescue America? American, one of the elite people, and elected Obama, Barack Obama, who's supposed to be a black, and there was a stigma behind him thinking he was a Muslim. And still, American put a faith on him and he elected. And single-handedly, he turned the economy around. The people who argue Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is 73 years old, he is still unable to walk straight and fix the economy, but can bring the money from overseas. It doesn't work that way. Just because you speak good English, just because you wear a suit, people will not lend you money. You need to see the unity. You need to have a patriotism. You need to represent the people aspiration. And he is already a discarded politician. Unfortunately, people need to, still thinking these older folks. I'm not pinpointing to anybody. You know, think about it. Ranil Wickremesinghe is 73 years old. Prime Minister is 73 years old. You know, but what the age for retirement in a government sector? 56, 58, 60. These people are still in politics. They can't even remember what happened yesterday. Most of the people will suffer dementia, senile dementia. They must be taking multiple medication. They have no clue what's going on. You know, I don't know. There's a very nice slogan during the 1970s when somebody went and complained to Srimao Bandaranaike, there's no bread for a people to eat. Then people say, supposed to be she told, why don't you eat cake? Think about it. That is the mentality of this Ranil Wickremesinghe, who come from elite, who never mix up with the common people, and no idea how the common man suffers in the street. And he is not the choice. And people need to understand he cannot fix the problem. It is not a local problem. International community has to come to rescue Sri Lanka and lend money, and the expatriate has to start sending money through the government channel. Until that is fixed, it's not going to be happening. There are enough and more youth in the parliament, outside, they are ready to lead the country. You know, if the team is, think about it, if a cricket team is losing, you are not going to put Arjuna Ranatunga to lead the team. You need a young blood. That's what Sri Lanka needed. We need to get rid of this outdated politician, overage, who cannot understand the people aspiration. You need to have a fresh start, a good change. And number two, the question regarding the divided community. You know, Sri Lanka has always a notion that it is a country for only for a Buddhist. I don't think Buddhist thinks that anymore. People are united. People are coming together. If you listen to the parliamentary speeches, some of the rising stars, they are not only from the majority community, there are rising stars from the minority community. Think about it, there's a person who come from Eastern Province, Rajamanikam. He is well connected, was in all three languages, brought up in up country, and he is very well received by the majority community. Not only that, he is popular among all three communities. Why Sri Lanka has to keep on relying on these religious based leaders? Why not giving him a young blood, regardless of the race or religion or the language? Give some of the new fresh start. Maybe a Hindu, maybe a Christian, maybe a Muslim. If he can deliver, why not give a chance to Rasamanikam? Or there are some other new faces. Why don't we do that? I think it's a time Sri Lanka need to start moving away from the racial politics and the language-based politics and need to think about it. Everybody is equal. Nobody is above the law, regardless of the race or religion or the caste. And people need to think about moving forward, give a common guy who can deliver and who has a passion for the country.
Yeah, there is a brother, I think a lawyer, Zaruk Kazim, he mentioned, I'm a lawyer with 50 years of experience. We need a system change.
He may be related to Dr. He is from the same area, Ukola.
Oh, mashallah. Well done, well done. Jazakumullah khair.
You see, this is what, the Aragali people ask, younger generation asking the very same thing what you said.
Yes.
What doctor said now are the very same demands of the younger generation. So things will change. This can't continue. Things will change. Anyway, inshallah, let us hope the good messages continue here.
Yeah, I want to share with you. Recently, I was listening to one of the experts in the professional area. And the first question he was asked, what is professionalism? He mentioned 4 things that we should know if somebody is a professional. And he should know what he is doing. And also he knowing the things and doing the things and helping other people and learning. And I'm putting this a politician into this 4 category. Knowing they don't know what is the political crisis, what is the economic crisis, or they don't understand. And what they're doing, they are filling their pockets only. They are not feeling the feelings of the ordinary publics. They never been in the queue for days and hours and hours. This is a very, very injustice to our country. In this Western world we are living, if you are in the queue, the Prime Minister also will need to wait in the queue. Unfortunately, and Sri Lanka, we don't see. And especially that professionalism who can help the people on time. An example, like if you are working for fire brigade or if you are working for mountain rescuers, you need to rescue the people on time. That is your professionalism. If you don't rescue the people on time, and you are not professional. So it is the message I think I can give to this politician. You are not a professional politician because you are not helping on time. People are suffering for months and months. They were in the queue for months and months. And still you are not talking about what is the solution for these people who are suffering, who are waiting for the meal to supply from outside. I think more than 3 million Sri Lankans they don't have the food for next meal. So we are just fighting, as you mentioned at the beginning. We are just throwing the card after shuffling. Oh, these are our prime minister, these are our president, but the problem is still continuing. And the gentlemen, we are come to the end, and I'm thinking it is a wonderful, timely discussion. Both of you have the good experience, and I want for both of you and the final message. Latheef, Farook, what is the message you want to give to the public?
Public is, they should continue the peaceful protest, demonstration, or protest, or whatever you call it, peacefully. and seek changes. Changes are needed very badly. The racism has virtually destroyed this country. 30-year war is because of racism. Economic problem because of racism. This problem that today the country is facing is, as I told you earlier, not like a tsunami, man-made disaster. Who are the men who made it? Who are the women who made it? Punish them. They don't want to do that here. They are still in the seat of power. This should change. Accountability must come there. Restoration of the law and order, which started eroding under Jayajavardhana's government. Since Jayajavardhana's constitution, you see, should be restored. Judge should be free to deliver the judgment here. Like this, couple of things which the younger generation demand. But because the younger generation is very firm on continuing with their demands, I have a feeling, and the government is also very weak. Government is extremely corrupt. They mismanage the country. Look here, I don't know whether can you give me 2 minutes?
Yeah. Carry on. Yeah.
Look here, the
final remark is going to be very clear message.
Hammandalta port project. Are we getting sent? Billions we spent. Hammandalta International Airport. You see, the only airport in the whole world which is kept closed. And tower, big tower, selling this, port, Colombo port, part of that sort of, Indian Prime Minister Modi's right-hand man. So like this, we did a lot of foolish things here. They want these people to be brought to justice. They want these people to be out of politics. So I have a feeling the government, instead of, Ranil Vikram Singh's government, instead of, being tough on them, if you talk to them, it's good for the country and good for them also, and bring about the changes. And immediate need is to feed the people. Immediate need is to solve the immediate problem. Political problem is one thing. But when you get up in the morning, you can't have a cup of tea. You can't wait until the parliament passes law to start to have a cup of tea. So you see, this should be sorted out immediately. You see, there are people waiting the queue for 4 days, 3 nights, 4 days here for petrol. So this should be sorted out, petrol. Now look here, we are surrounded by the largest ocean in the world, yet we are short of fish. This is one of the fertile countries in the whole world. Paradise. But we are short of food, rice. Something wrong with us. And that defect, we should rectify that. That's what I say, my message.
A very clear message, not because of our religion or our race.
The religion is number 2. Religion, we are now thinking, Aragala fellows are thinking as Sri Lankans. But the problem, I tell you, the problem from 1940 to today, we Sinhalese community failed to produce a single leader who think as Sri Lankan, who think for the whole country. They only thought of Sinhalese, Sinhala Buddhist to catch the vote. That's where we have come to this stage here. So now this is changing now.
Yeah, good message. And Dr. Kalik, and your final remarks and the message for the audience and for the people.
Yeah,
and you have the responsibility to cover both, and the diaspora also you need to cover.
Thanks for giving this opportunity. It's a pleasure coming and talking to the general audience. First of all, we need to understand why we are talking today. Because of the economic collapse and the country's struggle to survival. This is not because of the years of 74 years of divide and rule politics, racial hatred, language hatred. That's one of the reasons everybody realized this is not the way to solve the problem. All religion, all language people came together. And if we stay united together, and we can come out of this cloud. Yes, politicians are corrupt. There may be a few good-hearted people, but we need to filter it. But the current government has a huge stake to solve this problem. Look like they are not listening to the public. And I think the politicians started listening and talking to the people what the aspirations are. Number 3, the armed forces, we see that police forces some brutality. Some other handful of officers bring the entire police force to the knees. Those people should be punished, and they should have a better discipline, and they need to understand why these people came to the street. And same thing with the tri-forces. What is the need for the tri-forces? Yes, we had a big war, and we spent trillions of dollars, not million, not billion, trillions of dollars spent on this 30 years of war. We came to this level. Yes, we still have one of the biggest army in the world, but they need to understand, the army people and the all tri-forces, there is a reason why they are. They are not there to safeguard the interest of the corrupt politician. Stay neutral. If something wrong happening, you don't need to keep on obeying these politicians because you are on the wrong side of the history. They need to understand, going against the own public who are paying a tax from the taxpayers' money, you are get paid. And you are not going to harm the people who come to liberate the country from the corrupt people. Stay neutral. That is one message for this dear armed forces. And stay neutral. Stay out of this politics and don't try to safeguard these corrupt people. Number 3, we still have a hope on that country. My message is, do not give up hope. Yes, we can see the light end of the tunnel. The uprising started 3 months ago, and we achieved halfway through, and still way to go. Do not give up. The emergency laws, police curfews does not matter. The laws, it is not to safeguard the politician interest. We have to stay united. We have to continue to show our resistance to the government until they give up, and until they listen. And overseas people, stay focused. Don't give up. We have a hope if we stay together, regardless of our race or religion or the language. If we stay united, if we push this uprising, I think within few months we can sort out this problem.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lateef, Farook, and Dr. Asaid and Kalik. MashaAllah, it was a wonderful discussion, and very quick time. I called both of you. Alhamdulillah. I know this is a sleeping time for Lateef, Farook, and working time for Dr. Kalik. Dr. Kalik, and maybe I'm thinking your patients are waiting. May Allah reward both of you. Especially we are here, and because of we need to keep our voice for the people who doesn't have the voice. They don't have the voice. Especially this time, many people, maybe they have the things to talk, but they can't talk because they were afraid of these rules, this all forces and the arrest and everything. So I think a very beautiful message is given to all public and the people who are watching now, and also people who are going to watch inshallah later. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the best time to share this video clip, not only with the Tamil speaking crowd, because this is very important. That is the reason we did this one, especially in English language. We need to reach out the international community and also our brothers and the sisters in other communities like a Sinhalese audience and also Tamil audience. Sometimes we do some languages and other community they can't understand, but this English language and can go to everybody, especially those people who are in abroad, and we need to speak up. We need to talk continually. I think Lateef, Farook, I don't make a mistake. Maybe you are 74 years old, but it's still alhamdulillah solid and speaking for rights of Sri Lanka and also rights for Muslim, and also wherever occur the injustice, you are there. It can be Kashmir or Myanmar or Palestine or even any part of the world. You were there, you spoke and you were written and I think many books and also many articles every day you are writing. And Dr. Khalid, you gave the message, many messages I heard, and as a voice clip in many WhatsApp group. And the first time, Alhamdulillah, we had as a guest, Alhamdulillah, you nailed the topic. Alhamdulillah, people are very happy. I think already many people are watching without missing. And I hope the audience, especially when you come to the Facebook and the YouTube, you have a duty. If you like the program, you need to share it and you need to get the reward for it. And also, similar program, inshallah, we would like to continue. And please subscribe to our channel. It can go to the people because we don't have even single penny coming from anybody. We are like an independent media. We are not working with any politician or any organization. Just we love Sri Lanka. We love the people. So this is the reason we are raising our voice. And gentlemen, thank you very much once again, Latheef, Farook, and also Dr. Khalid. Jazakumullah khairan. All the audience, Jazakumullah kulal khair for being with us all this 1 hour period. Jazakumullah khairan. We will meet once again. Thank you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Live